We are Dave and Spandana, a software engineer and developmental pediatrician who gave up everything and bought a sailboat. Join us on our adventures on board our 1993 caliber 40 as we travel the world collecting memories and barnacles. As tempting as it was to spend the summers enjoying family barbecues, our turtle and boat projects beckoned, so we headed back down to get started on the projects, starting with the bow rollers.
One of our original plans was to replace the bow roller with some new Mantis ones, which have a much nicer design than what we have now. Problem we're seeing is that when we look at our anchor, or actually our bow rollers here, you'll see there's those 6 screws there, which made us think that maybe we could just unscrew those and take off our existing bow roller. When we look closer, we see that they're actually welded on both here, and this is the reason we're trying to remove it, is that this piece here fell off and broke off during a storm. But it's welded back here to this metal bar, and that bar actually runs all the way around and back to the boat. So it's going to be a little bit of a bigger project than we thought to get this off so we can replace it with a nicer roller.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way.
Alright, the new chain fits like a glove. That's the new line that's going to get spliced in and attached to the boat. And that is more old chain. It's about 100 feet of chain, and that used to be attached to this giant delta, which we are going to get rid of. I'm going to see if I can sell it. That'll be nice. The boat also originally came with a fortress, which you see in the corner there. So I think that's going to be our backup anchor. And then this shiny thing is our new bow roller. Really, really pretty Mantis bow roller, which I'm very excited about.
Alright, safety equipment on. It's time to get these bow rollers off so we can get on our replacement Mantis rollers. But they don't fit here if these guys are in, so we're gonna have to cut basically down over, not using the right hand, use this hand to cut basically down this way and just take the existing bow rollers right off. First we're going to do a cut basically straight up and down like that, and then we'll have to clean up this and this afterwards, but at least we can get this whole section off first, and then this whole thing should come off. That wasn't so bad. Oh, we finally got the bow roller off. One of 4 down. All right. 2 down, 2 to go. Oh, gotta put the mask on first. Safety first.
I've been watching you for a while. I know you're looking at me the same way. You move up close, but you don't speak. I have to look the other way. But curiosity is killing me. It gets the better part of me. Watching you, watching me, watching you, watching me. Yeah. One step away, I want you. I gotta know, I gotta know. One step away, I want you. Don't wait too long, don't wait too long. Baby, don't go and mess it up. No, we're closing in, we're so close to love. Yeah. I give you everything you want, babe. I give you everything you want, babe. I give you everything you want, babe. You can't stop looking for love.
All the way through. That's why I caught, because those earplugs go deep. Oh. This guy's all the way cut through. This thing's the only thing holding it up. Once we get that off, everything should fall. Oh. There's a lot of above the head work. I'm like, arms are just toasted. Oh. Okay, that's the last thing, and then we gotta go. The sun's going down. Well, we got the fourth one off last night, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up the welds and getting the rest of this metal off. And that is the first stage of cleanup, where all the big chunks have been removed, and it's really just getting down to the curve of the metal. Now on to smoothing and buffing. It's the end of another day at the yard. Got quite a bit done with the angle grinder. As you can see here, we now have this part here. It looks a little messed up, but it actually is pretty much smooth. I've gotten most of the weld off. This one is a little better. The middle piece is basically completely gone. And then over here, there's a bit of a ridge right there, and this one's gotta go. So keep on grinding, and then we'll polish and buff. And you won't even know that we had welded on bowsprits here in the first place.
Okay, so we need to sand the bottom and paint the bottom. But we have, as usual, 16 steps of prep. And the actual painting job, I think, is going to take 2 days. The big thing is that when we had turtle bottom painted last year, we'd been told that there were more coats on this, let's just say, than we think that actually went on, because the amount of bottom antifoul that is off in less than a year is a little too much. Also, we just discovered right here a blister, and so right here I accidentally already popped it, so you see the acid coming out of it. Don't do that. So if you see a blister, don't touch it like I did. I wasn't thinking, and I just did it, and it leaked, because inside is acid. It's not just like empty. You're supposed to, there's a process, and it is very small, and we're going to kind of buff it out and make sure that there's nothing else. We're going to go through the rest of the hull with a fine tooth comb or whatever, and make sure there's no other blisters happening. And then we're going to scrape all these barnacles off. This has quite a bit of growth on each side, and I don't want to ruin the I don't want to ruin our sandpaper. I'm sure it's fine. I didn't do it last year, so this is the very first time I'm doing it, and it just makes sense to me to have as smooth of a surface to work with. So today is me and a paint scraper and glasses and maybe even a mask, but I'm going to try not to scrape the paint too much and stay upwind of it, but it's pretty straightforward. I've kind of started on the other side, and they're pretty easy to take off, so you just stand upwind and scrape such, and don't do this, because that's how you end up with barnacle hair, like a mermaid. All barnacle-ed up, but I need a shower anyway, so while Dave finishes up the angle grinding, I'm gonna finish up the scraping, and then I'm gonna tape it up, and then tomorrow we use this beast. Actually, let me come show you really fast. An incredible testament to cruisers. So this is a compressor. a gasoline compressor, and it was actually completely dead. And well, I just stood on this, so I know this can take my weight. I had to stand on top of it to fill the gas tank. But 2 sets of cruisers have basically, they got a new battery, they've just brought this back to life so that the whole yard can use it for free. And that is why cruisers are amazing, because they took this ancient piece of technology and basically got it working for the yard, and they put in their own time, effort, and money to get it running back again. But basically I have a list of things to do. It runs off of gasoline, and if you come to the front, you see this beast. So this is one of the batteries of one of the cruisers, so they use their own battery, and gasoline powered. You switch it on and the whole thing shakes and comes to life, and it is quite intense. And we attach it up to a air compressed, is that what it is? Air compressed sander, I think it's called. May not be, that's what it's called, but it's called that for me. And I start sanding tomorrow, all Tyvek suited up, which will be wonderful in this Georgian 105 degrees feel heat. So tomorrow you will watch me melt. But yes, that is for tomorrow. Today is Barnacle Day, so I shall continue with my barnacling, debarnacling of that. See you later. Spraying up, even though I can actively hear thunder, it's supposed to not rain at all, which is great because it means we get more work done. So after trying, I think, every mosquito repellent with stronger and stronger and stronger chemicals, the natural stuff, the eucalyptus stuff, the cruisers that we met have turned us on to the 90s, basically. If anyone remembers these, they were very hot when I was in high school. Vanilla Body Fantasies body spray. And they've actually worked really well against the mosquitoes and bugs. Like, we spray ourselves and we smell like really strong vanilla, but it works really, really well. Who knew? Who knew vanilla was the answer? The 90s were the answer. Who knew? But
Here we go. We've got the initial set of bow rollers off. Grinded them basically down to the metal, so you can see that it's pretty much flat, but not very pretty because we've taken all this metal off and kind of hit it a few times. So next step is to grab our little sandy disc guy here, and that should scratch off all that stuff, but not with my hands, with the tool. So let's give that a shot. Spandana's over there refilling the compressor so she can start her own sanding as well. Of course, she's not quite tall enough to get on top, so unfortunately she's got to stand on the wheel to pour the gasoline in. Thank you so much for watching, and join us next week as we finish up our projects and Turtle gets a few shiny upgrades.